Hey, this is Ivan, and today's video, okay, I'm gonna fix my hair, yes. So today's video is going to be very good video. First of all, I know that this video will be very deep. It will discuss very big topics. So let me name the video. The video will be named How to Overcome Any Problem in Your Life. Right, that's like a big topic. People are fighting all the time with all kinds of problems. Some people are addicted. Some people are addicted to stuff. Some people do have addiction to substances, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol. Love is addiction. Hard work is addiction. Anything in our life, it's generally a big addiction. Now, I want to give you a slightly different approach and different perspective. Life itself, it's addiction. So how you can overcome all your problems? And before I start on the topic, I want to give you a little bit of glimpse. If you are in a big city, we are in a big city, this is Central Park, right in my office. And this is how I resolve my problems. Sometimes I actually do not have any problems. I overcome even the problem idea to begin with. If you understand what I mean. The last 1 year, I would say I set the goal to become the most positive and the most happy person you will ever meet. I stole this idea from a couple of guys, a couple of gurus, couple of mystics, and it did work for me. So in this video I will try to give you a bit of this wisdom. First of all, I want to mention that for the last 18 plus years I've been studying all kinds of people with different perspective. People that are slightly unusual, slightly not so orthodox in their views. Those are people in business, those are people in science, those are people in religion, and those are people in metaphysics. So I think I have the information. Now the information, it's not a knowledge. Many people get confused. They think that if they got the information, they will, we're going to fix our life. But that's not true. Information is just information. When you apply the information, it becomes partially knowledge. And that knowledge, through something called experiential life, the life being experiential, then you get into the deeper level of wisdom. You start understanding on a deeper level the wisdom and the knowledge. So I'm going to take a brief, just 15 or 20 seconds break in this video, just to show you one of the ways you can resolve problems. If you are in a big city, but that's not the important part, that's not the major part. But it's a way, it's just a simple way. If you are in stress, if you live in a big city, that's what you can do. You can go to the nearest place like that and just observe. You don't have to actually do nothing. You can just observe, stretch, look around, focus your attention on the people. Here, I want to focus your attention right now on these people. These are some people that they're doing something, and I'm so curious of what they're doing. I've seen they was doing different poses in this. This is the Grey Hot Arch in Central Park, right where, I do not know if I'm televising because the camera is backwards, but these people are doing some kind of a story. These are Asian people, probably from Asia. They are very well-dressed, kind of stylish people, so they're doing some story. The guy seems to be a semi-professional photographer or videographer, but it looks to me that they do have some agenda. So now I'm just looking at these people, and I hope you're looking at these people. Let me see. Yeah, they are coming and they are televising some kind of thing. And one of the way for me to get out of my head is just to go deep, very deep in the problems of other people. That is just one way, to get so involved with their story, so my story become irrelevant just for a few seconds. Because if you are so much into your story, you may go crazy. Some people do that. They are so much engrossed in their story, in their life, which is not bad. I'm not saying that is bad. I'm just saying from time to time, you can go in someone else's story. Also, you can go in the story of this animal over there. That is so purifying to watch an animal, how they behave, what they do. They simply follow the instincts. They simply follow the so-called universal intelligence. They don't doubt, they don't think too much, should I go eat this thing? And by just observing these animals in the park, you kind of alleviate yourself into the level of higher being. You can just observe the life. Now let's go back to the set. And sometimes it takes focus. That is one of the things that I have acquired through the years of business, and many people tell me that I do not have focus, but that is just illusion for them. I don't even want to tell them that I do have very sharp focus. And let's go back to these guys. So that is kind of very purifying process. How to resolve your problems. Very purifying experience. So one of the way, simply said, to kind of resolve your problems in life, just take a little break, go in a silent place and focus on something else. And that could be just a root. And you can just stare at the roots. You can stare at the roots of the tree. That moment of staring at something, it's just totally make your mind blank, which we want to achieve in order to purify our thoughts, silence our internal chatter, and just went or go into the nothingness. Sometimes we just have to go into the nothingness. And sometimes another good practical advice from me is to get your feet on the ground. The reason for that is very obvious, right? Sometimes we forgot. We kind of lose our sense of being humans and walking on this earth, because we all wear these socks and shoes and all these artificial creations of our convenience. We all like these conveniences, and sometimes we lose touch with nature. And one of the most powerful way also is to actually physically go in touch with nature. Not just, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to the beach, or I'm thinking going to the park, but actually take off your shoes and for some for some 10-15 minutes, you can just do that, you know. Leave your gadgets, leave your coffee, leave your life, and for just, I do not know if you can see, for just a few minutes, just do this. So if you spend like about I guess like 15 to 20 minutes walking on the ground, what I found very good is a few stones. I love this exercise, or a few branches, so I want to step on the stones and the branches, or some so-called imperfections of the nature. And then of course you can do a little massage. You can get like to massage your senses. There is a lot of nerve points. Hey, let's go to the Chinese. Let's go to the Chinese masters that do whatever they do, piercing and you know, weak points, and there's a lot of points right there on your foot. There's a lot of nerve points. But sometimes we use these so comfortable shoes like Prada or Nike or whatever you might like in your life, like the branding. Just to let you know about this branding, you've been duped into the convenience paradox. The more convenient you live, the more you lose your sense of yourself. Something like that, right? So, here is what I'm doing. And it's about 11 minutes. Kind of showing you a type of meditation. And some people, I said in previous videos that some people, like the fancy people in Manhattan, they ask me, do you do meditation? And they mean the meditation is just stay still for like 30 minutes and clear your mind. And yes, I do meditation. That is the kind of meditation, experiential meditation, going and checking out real life. Like this friend of mine, this is the resident. Hello, hey. This is the resident, and there's another resident here. They are blending. These are two residents. If you can see them on the ground, I will try to zoom. Let's see the video. Yes, there's a resident there. They are very static. There is another resident over there, and there's another one resident busy with life. These are the residents that take life as it is, in pure, very pure. These are the residents of the park. And sometimes, with just your feet on the ground, you gotta observe this. It's very purifying experience. But that is not, I'm sorry that my video is so shaky. Now, while I'm doing the video, that is not full meditation, to let you know. I'm covering this meditation, but that's not the actual meditation. The actual meditation would be when I actually stop doing this video and actually fully get into these guys, into the guys that are doing their story, the humans. I can get into the roots of the tree, the gigantic tree, and or the life of this guy, or that guy, or these guys. And again, some people say, oh, you're repeating yourself too much, and I agree with that, but that's the way to do it. And there is beauty, a lot of beauty. So now, if you take some time, out of your life and do this kind of experiential meditation, you can also get into the artificial beauty of created, you know, like the cast iron bridge behind me, some beautiful people around, the light itself, the way the light, sorry for the shitty video, it's a low-end camera, cell phone, selfie style, but the light, the way the light falls between the trees. If you have the power to notice how the life is around and how the light and how actually other people are enjoying this thing. So it's a way of meditating and purifying your problems, and this is one of the ways to resolve all your problems. But now I'm going to talk about the serious part. I hope you are getting up to this 15 minutes mark. Now I'm going to talk about the serious problem. This comes with to do with reverse psychology, but it should be on yourself. Let's say you have a addiction. Let's say you do have addiction of some kind. Now I will tell you this couple of steps program, and I'll try to make it as little steps as possible. So first step is number one, and it's counterintuitive, but it works. First of all, embrace your addiction. Embrace, love it. Now I will tell you how it usually works. Let's say you have addiction of gambling, and your internal chatter is telling you two separate things. One is this: oh, this is the best in my life, it gives me such a thrill, I go and I spend this money in the thing, and that's real life. Now on the other hand, Lancialo to Gobu, the other way, the devil is talking. Oh, this is stupid, you are such a fool, how can you do that? This is internal chatter in your head. You know you did something wrong, but you can't help but keep doing it. And any addiction is constructed like this. You know it's wrong, but you cannot help. You know it's hurting yourself, you know you're killing yourself, you know you slowly kind of die, but there is a beauty in that dying, right? There is slight beauty in the dying process. There is a beauty in death, and people don't see it, because people take death as something, as the end of it. And actually, by them focusing on death or dying or negative emotions, they kind of miss the good part, the enjoyment. So the first point here is to say, the first step to do in trying to overcome all of your problems in your life, first embrace them. And actually, even more powerful, I would say, accept and give up. Now you can do this by will or by acceptance. And I know from personal experience, it will not happen by will. It has to be on a deeper level. It has to be by acceptance. I used to have a lot of struggles in my life, business struggles, financial problems, personal problems, relationship problems. Thanks God I didn't ever have this, chemical addictions. Actually, I do have one, cigarettes, right? So, but the first thing to do, just embrace that and look at this as not that bad, because at this point, you have really the ability, if you embrace, if you accept this kind of attitude, you have the ability to attack this problem from the wise side, from the, not even say logical or rational, even deeper than the logical and rational, from the point of your heart, from the point of your essence, from the point of your feelings, or from the point of your instincts. Each human being has some basic instincts, and when things get tough, if you are falling down out of a cliff, these basic instincts, the self-preservation, they will kick in and they will save you in a way, or at least they will try, But many people live in the Maya. Many people live in this confused, split mind. They don't want to accept themselves. Somehow they are unsatisfied with life, with people around them, with relationships. And this is because deep inside they are not satisfied with themselves. The self-image that they project into them, it's not just one, it's just a split. You know, one guy is talking this, the other thing is talking that. And I have a friend that she is writing a book on the topic about subpersonalities. And sometimes we have too many people talking in our heads. And that is the way here in nature to kind of calm down our mind and resolve some of the issues. So, now the serious part is just simply say, accept and embrace your weaknesses. They are not that bad as you think. They actually made you human. You are not Iron Man as much as you want. You are not Wonder Woman, it's just wave and miracle happens. You're just a regular human being like all of us, like each of us, like me, like your friends, like your parents. And just embrace this part of your being, not even a character. Character is something else. Charisma is something else. Behavior is something else, but it's your basic being you have to embrace. Like if you observe the tree for enough time, it will be clear to you that the tree embraces itself to its full potential. There is no tree in the universe that does not embrace itself to its full potential. As my mentors say, how tall the tree can grow? As much as it can. How tall the tree can go up? As much as it can. How much nutrients the tree will try to acquire? As much as it can. How deep the roots will go in the ground? So, you know the answer, as much as it can. The tree does not think or does not even perceive reality as human, but it tries to do its best. As well, like these guys, you know. Somewhat, we as humans, we may observe these guys and say, oh, they are just primitive creatures on instinct. But in these creatures, beyond instinct, there is tremendous intelligence of creation, you know. Certain things we observe they do, but we cannot see that their heart is beating and they don't even aware of that. We cannot see that they are breathing and they are not even conscious of that. The bird right now is breathing air just as me and you, and most of the time we forget that because there is a greater intelligence. The scientists may call it evolution, interpolation of efficiency, or processes designed to propel our species, such as like Richard Dawkins would say it, propelling our genes or passing our personal information, whatever that might be, to the next generation. When we say personal, in a human sense, we do understand this is individual. We want to pass our individual genes to our kids, to our generation. But big part of this is not even on subconscious level. Deep part of us, it's even beyond subconscious, even beyond. It goes down to this basic intelligence that we are operating under. Some of the mystics that I listen, they might say this is an act of getting to the divine, touching the divine. When you write a scripture and you don't even think, the hand just writes itself. It's an unconscious process. It goes beyond unconscious process, I believe. It's part conscious, part subconscious, and big part, some of the mystics say it's the divine creation. Somehow we touch in this infinite field of information, and the physicists are saying it's a field of information. The poets are explaining it as I do not know what it is, but it just made me do it. And even some of the common cool artists, you know, they may say, I don't know, Donald Trump made me do it. But yeah, so let's get back to the important part. First conversation with yourself. just embrace your weaknesses. I've been embracing my weaknesses for the last 5 years, and I found out to be true that you cannot go through resistance. Through resistance, through pain, through rebellion. You can only kill yourself faster through these processes. But you can go internally and get these things through acceptance. First step, embrace, accept, acknowledge, and later on, of course, perhaps you may invoke the higher intelligence to get to help you, just to help you on your issues. Sometimes it's like a miracle, sometimes it's like a sudden thunderstorm of light and blissful warmness in your body. And some people that have gotten through this experience, they are explaining it through many different ways. They may say it's enlightenment or whatever they might call it, but I would say it's simply realization of your problems on a deeper level than the internal chatter of the mind and all the subconscious thoughts in the background. It's deeper than that. So now, after you embrace it, I would suggest step number 2. Get yourself into this state and just stay calm. Try to calm yourself and wait. Just wait. Wait for as long as you can wait. A practical advice is focus your attention on a piece. Might be this. It must be still. You don't have to move it, or you may move it. But isolate this piece. Let this be your prime focus of attention. Maybe a leaf, maybe a root, maybe some animal or a moving object, but get this to get your prime focus and just wait. Just wait. Stare. Stare at your paper with your notes. I practice this every day during some time. There's no agenda when I'm gonna be doing it. There's not like a ritual. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna stare at my plant. No. Whenever it might happen, if I have this evocation of, hey, let me get to my paper, which is just simply business. This is simply business. But yeah, I do have a plan for my life, and it's always on paper, and it looks like this, you know. So I just boom, and I get to stare. In the page number 1, it says stare for at least 30 minutes. For at least 30 minutes on this whole planning of my life. It's like a lot of things. It's a lot of data, right? A lot of data, but I don't act upon the data. In business, let me get back to business, right? In business, you need clarity. And I would say your life, it's kind of a business. Maybe a nasty business, maybe a good business, maybe a peaceful business, maybe a blissful business. So if it's about business, stare for at least 30 minutes. This is a practical advice for business people. And that's it pretty much. 2 steps. Embrace your problem. Then go in a quiet place. Do some physical stuff. Get your feet wet. Get in the rain. Don't open your umbrella. Embrace the rain someday and feel the life itself. And there is tremendous energy in that. Once you accept that nature, once you accept the sounds, once you accept your core being, what you are made of, it's beyond the tree and it's beyond the birds and it's beyond the residents. Once you accept that basic nature, you will not even have to work on your problems. They just disappear. I would not say it's a state of mind, because some of the guys that talk about state of mind, like the NLP people and the hypnotist people and the psychology people, they may misinterpret this. I would say it like more like the mystics, like somewhat Eastern people from the East, like old Indian culture plus some Chinese kind of concept of Taoism and acceptance. More like this. It's the being that will set you free. And as you can see, these animals here, they don't get to bed. They don't get to be bothered by my presence. They feel totally comfortable. And they are all around me. They're coming closer and closer. And I believe, even though these undomesticated people, like these birds, if I stay still for long enough time, even with my fancy gadgets like sneakers, and there you go, one is coming. One is coming right there. Where is it? Oh, yes, he's coming close to me. Yeah, another one is very curious. Do you see that? I don't see it in the camera, but yeah, he's here jumping. Hop, hop. Jump, jump. And I believe it's because when you get into that state of mind or being, you somehow come as one with these guys, with the grass, with your coffee cup, with your sneakers, with all the creation. You become one. You become in agreement with the universe. You do not come in state of rebellion of this beautiful world. And I will open a page here, or a chapter, or a second or two, about this kind of rebellious nature that lives in us. And I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying it does not resolve too many of your problems. If you are in a rebellious state, yes, you have to go through the rebellions, ups and downs of life. Sometimes you have to get angry, sometimes you have to be enraged, sometimes you have to be frustrated, or but that does not bring happiness in your life. That does not bring blissfulness. And I'm saying this because before I came to the park, I saw a bunch of guys getting together and like, whoa, we're gonna win a fight, power to the people, and this is injustice, and people just don't see. They live in the Maya, just according to me. And I believe that the people that they are criticizing are somewhere on the top floors of these high-risers. They don't really give a shit about these people, and they are just looking down and they are laughing, and they don't even acknowledge them. So I don't think this rage, it's very good approach. Now, historically, if you take all the revolutions all the revolutions brought nothing in humanity, nothing. And a friend of mine was around me, and he was like, yeah, but what all the people rise and they bring down these tyrants, whoever the tyrants are. So I just told him my point of view. There have been many fights and many wars against many authorities, and what usually happens is, like, those who are not in power, at some point they take the power, but because they didn't have peace within themselves, the power quickly corrupted them. let's talk about the communists and the good social change ideas like socialism and the communism. How long did this last? And it didn't last because the communist was not right. They had this beautiful concept of equality and prosperity and brotherhood. It's kind of the best idea that we've got so far, right, in the social ladder of society and development. But they didn't get too far because they didn't know human nature too well, and they did not deal with the dark side of humans. I come from the communism and I know the dark side, and I've seen how the dark side gets into those who once was rebellious and then became their own victims. They quickly rise to the power and they quickly let the power corrupt. And simply say, the more power, the more corruption. But that is not true. Again, that is one-sided vision. In a weak mind, more power means more corruption. But in complete mind and complete being, more power means just that, more power. And if you are clear with your mind and in your being, and if you are aligned with all your mental, physical, and emotional, and let's say being faculties, you will be in total coherence with the universe. The fool will be just a fool. The rebellion will be just rebellion. The happy will be just happy. The liar will be just a liar. And the righteous will be just righteous. And the strong will be just strong. And you won't be confusing these terms and I would say made up words. Because if you see beyond the words, you will see that just made up words. But you would not get mixed up with the words and their meanings if you are aligned with your clarity, with your being, with your calmness, and with your observation. There's no bigger power in human life than clarity. That's I would say.